At 79, Henry Winkler finally talks about Jerry Reed. Henry Winkler was born on October 30, 1945 in New York City. He is one of the most loved and long-lasting stars in American entertainment. People know him for being warm, funny, and never giving up. Winkler's life story shows strength, creativity, and how kindness and talent can win over hard times. His journey from being a kid who struggled in school because of dyslexia to winning an Emmy Award and becoming an author shows just how brave and determined he is. When Henry was growing up in Manhattan, school was really tough for him. Nobody knew he had dyslexia until he was an adult, so he had a hard time with his schoolwork. Teachers and even his own parents sometimes called him lazy or stupid. These early struggles really hurt his confidence, but they also made him want to succeed even more in a world that didn't understand learning problems yet. Even with all the difficulties, Henry found joy in performing and telling stories, which became his safe place. He later went to Emerson College and got his bachelor's degree in 1967. Then, he went to the famous Yale School of Drama and got his Master of Fine Arts degree in 1970. His time at Yale helped him become a better actor and gave him the confidence to chase his dream of becoming a performer. After he finished school, Winkler started acting in plays and small TV roles. But his big break came when he was cast as Arthur Fonzie Fonzarelli on Happy Days in 1974, and that made him a huge star around the world. At first, the Fonz was supposed to be just a small character, but his cool leather jacket, his famous thumbs up, and his smooth charm quickly made him the main star of the show. Winkler added surprising feeling to the role. Under the tough guy look was a character full of warmth, loyalty, and goodness. By the mid-1970s, Fonzie had become a pop culture icon, and Henry Winkler was known in every home. But even with all the fame, Winkler stayed humble and was really thankful for the opportunity that changed his life. After Happy Days ended in 1984, Winkler had to figure out how to change himself in an industry that often puts actors in the same type of role over and over. Instead of giving up, he tried different talents by working behind the camera as a director and producer. He directed successful movies like Memories of Me in 1988 and Cop and a Half in 1993. He also produced hit TV shows including MacGyver and So Weird. His ability to adapt and his creative ideas proved that he was way more than just one role. He was a true artist who could do great in every part of the entertainment world. In the 1990s and 2000s, Winkler had an amazing comeback in his career with character roles that showed off his comedy skills. He was in Adam Sandler's The Waterboy in 1998, and he won over a whole new group of fans with his funny, self-making fun of himself humor and kindness. Later, his role as Barry Zuckerkorn in Arrested Development and his hilarious acting as acting coach Gene Cousineau in HBO's Barry from 2018 to 2023 got him great reviews, and he won an Emmy Award in 2018. These performances showed his amazing ability to grow as an actor and connect with people of all ages. Besides acting, Henry Winkler has made a huge difference as an author and someone who speaks up for children with learning challenges. Working together with writer Lynn Oliver, he created the Hank Zipser book series, which was inspired by his own experiences with dyslexia. The books have become bestsellers around the world, helping tons of children understand that learning differences don't decide their worth or what they can achieve. Winkler has since written more book series, reaching young readers with humor, understanding, and encouragement. His dedication to reading and self-acceptance has won him many awards and honors from education groups worldwide. Along with his successful work as a writer, Henry Winkler never stayed away from his first love, acting. His passion for performing stayed a driving force his whole life, and even as he tried new creative paths, the screen kept calling him back. Between the late 1990s and 2017, Winkler appeared in 21 movies, showing both how versatile he was and how people still loved him. His last movie role was in the 2017 animated holiday movie All I Want for Christmas Is You, where he used his warm, familiar voice for the character of Grandpa Bill, a performance that perfectly showed the heart and humor fans had loved for decades. Just a year earlier in 2016, Winkler showed his amazing comedy instincts once again by playing former New York Mayor Ed Koch in the funny film Donald Trump's The Art of the Deal, the movie, proving that even in his later years, his wit and timing were still as sharp as ever. Television, though, stayed the place where Winkler's talent truly shined. As the new millennium started, he continued to surprise audiences with all the different roles he played and how deep his craft was. In the early 2000s, he took on memorable parts in well-known series like The Practice and the quirky comedy hits, easily going from drama to comedy. Between 2003 and 2005, Winkler made younger audiences happy with his voice work as Norville the Bird in 18 episodes of the beloved PBS animated series Clifford's Puppy Days, bringing warmth and playfulness to the show that only his special voice could deliver. In 2006, Winkler made another surprising career move. His pantomime debut, performing on the stage of London's famous New Wimbledon Theatre, he played the mischievous and larger-than-life Captain Hook in Peter Pan. The role showed not only his comedy timing, but also his willingness to try new challenges well into his career. Audiences and critics were both charmed by his ability to turn a classic villain into a character full of charm, humor, and theatrical flair. Henry Winkler's love story with Stacey Weitzman is one of Hollywood's most lasting and real romances, based on warmth, humor, and respect for each other. The couple first met in 1976, a time when Winkler was at the peak of his fame as Arthur Fonzie Fonzarelli on the hit TV series Happy Days. Their meeting happened in an unexpected but charming place, a Beverly Hills clothing store. Winkler, already a household name, had stopped in to pick up a sport coat, while Stacey, then known as Stacey Weitzman, née Firstman, was helping out a friend who owned the boutique. The moment their eyes met, Winkler was immediately drawn to her beauty, elegance, and confident energy. He later remembered being struck by how naturally self-assured she was, not bothered by his celebrity status. Stacey, on the other hand, saw beyond his fame and found in him a man of sincerity, humor, and kindness. Their relationship grew naturally, built not on the glitz of Hollywood but on shared values, laughter, and understanding each other. They started dating shortly after their first meeting, and Winkler was quickly drawn to her intelligence and independent spirit. Stacey had already built a life of her own. She was a strong, creative woman who had been married before and was raising her son, Jed. Henry admired how devoted she was to her family and the calm stability she brought into his fast-paced world. Their connection got deeper as they spent more time together, blending their lives and discovering that they fit together perfectly. Winkler often talked about how Stacey grounded him, keeping his life balanced despite the overwhelming fame he was experiencing in the mid-1970s. 2 years after their lucky meeting in 1978, Henry Winkler and Stacey Weitzman got married in a deeply meaningful ceremony at the synagogue where Winkler had celebrated his bar mitzvah as a young boy. The decision to get married in that special place showed Winkler's Jewish heritage and his desire to honor his roots. The wedding was intimate, with close family and friends attending, and filled with a sense of connection, bridging his past, present, and future. For Winkler, marrying Stacey in the same place where he had taken his first steps into adulthood meant a circle of faith and family coming full circle. Their marriage grew into a lifelong partnership that has lasted through time, fame, and hard times. Together they raised 3 children, Jed, Stacey's son from her previous marriage, and their 2 children together, Zoe and Max Winkler. Max, born in 1983, would later follow in his father's creative footsteps, becoming a director and screenwriter, known for his unique storytelling and sensitivity in his work. Henry often said he was proud of his children, talking about how family stayed his greatest source of joy and accomplishment, even beyond his celebrated acting and producing career. Over the decades, Winkler and Stacey's marriage became one of Hollywood's quiet success stories. While many celebrity relationships were marked by scandal or short-lived passion, theirs was a steady union built on friendship, humor, and shared strength. Stacey stood by Henry's side through the highs of his career and the lows that came when happy days ended and roles became harder to find. She encouraged him to try new creative paths, including directing, producing, and writing children's books that inspired countless young readers. Their bond was also tested by real-life challenges, including Stacy's brave battle with breast cancer, which she beat with Henry's constant support. Through it all, the couple's love for each other never weakened. They faced life's obstacles as a team, their love growing stronger with each passing year. Henry often calls Stacy his rock, giving her credit not only for providing emotional stability, but also for helping him stay humble and grateful, despite decades in the spotlight. Henry Winkler, known for his warmth, humility, and real affection toward people he has worked with, recently opened up about his experiences with country legend and actor Jerry Reed. Reed, who starred with Winkler in the 1998 Adam Sandler film The Waterboy, played the scheming and charismatic bad guy Red Beaulieu, the head coach of the University of Louisiana Cougars football team. For many people, Reed's acting was both funny and sharp, showing a perfect mix of Southern charm and competitive swagger. But for Winkler, the time spent with Reed off-camera became even more special than their scenes together on set. Jerry wasn't just an incredible performer, Winkler said fondly. He was one of those rare people who could walk into a room and immediately lift everyone's spirits. You'd forget for a moment that he was this country music icon, this larger-than-life entertainer, because he made you feel like an old friend. Winkler remembered that their friendship grew naturally during filming when Reed, always the outdoorsman, decided to share his love for bass fishing with him. "I had never fished before in my life," Winkler laughed. "But Jerry told me, 'Son, you can't come down to Louisiana and not learn to fish. It's a crime against nature.'" According to Winkler, their early morning fishing trips became a special routine during production. They'd meet before sunrise, coffee in hand, and drive out to the quiet lakes near their filming locations. He'd show up in this old pickup truck, always smiling, always humming a tune, Winkler remembered. He'd tell stories about playing guitar with Elvis, writing songs for Chet Atkins, and making movies with Burt Reynolds. "I just sat there completely fascinated. I realized I wasn't just fishing. I was listening to living history." What impressed Winkler most was Reed's natural storytelling ability, the same magnetic energy that had made him a country star and beloved entertainer for decades. Every tale he told had this sparkle to it, Winkler said. He had a way of mixing humor, heart, and a little bit of mischief. That's what made him so special. He could make you laugh until you cried, and then suddenly he'd say something that made you think deeply about life. Though The Waterboy was filled with funny chaos on screen, Winkler described the filming environment as joyful and full of laughter, thanks mostly to Reed's presence. He brought so much Southern warmth to the set, Winkler remembered. He was always cracking jokes, always reminding everyone not to take things too seriously. And when the cameras rolled, he was totally professional. He hit every line with perfect timing. Watching him act was like watching a musician hit every note effortlessly. The friendship between the two men continued even after filming ended. Winkler said that Reed would often send him notes or call to check in. He'd always say, "How's my fishing buddy doing?" Winkler smiled. He was just that kind of man, thoughtful, funny, and kind. You couldn't help but love him. When Jerry Reed passed away in 2008, Winkler said he felt a deep personal loss. "I remember hearing the news and just sitting quietly for a long time," he said softly. "It felt like the world had lost a little bit of its light that day." He was one of those rare souls who lived fully, loved deeply, and left everyone better for having known him. Winkler also shared that he still thinks of Reed whenever he goes near a lake or river. "Every time I see the water, I remember his laugh, his voice, and how patient he was teaching me to cast that line," Winkler said. "He'd tease me constantly saying, 'You Hollywood types don't know how to catch a thing.' And he was right. I didn't catch much. But I caught something far better. I caught a friendship that I'll always treasure." Looking back on The Waterboy years later, Winkler admitted that the film has a special place in his heart. Not only because it was a hit with audiences, but because it captured a moment in time with a man he truly admired. "When I watch that movie now, I don't just see the characters or the comedy," he explained. "I see Jerry's spirit shining through every scene he's in. He had that spark, that realness that you can't fake." It's no surprise it was his final film. In many ways, It felt like a fitting final bow for someone who had given so much joy to the world. In his gentle and thoughtful tone, Winkler summed up what made Jerry Reed unforgettable. He lived his life with laughter, music, and friendship, he said. He didn't just play roles, he lived them. He didn't just sing songs, he told stories that touched people. And to me, that's the mark of a true artist. I'm lucky to have known him. I'm lucky to have learned from him, not just about fishing, but about living. With emotion in his voice, Winkler added one final thought. Whenever I think about Jerry, I think about how much he loved life. He once told me, "Henry, if you can laugh every day, then you've done all right." That was Jerry Reed, a man who laughed, loved, and lived more fully than anyone I've ever met.